Dude. Look at this picture. Holy shit. Now, when I saw, I think, Volume 18, it stated, like, the Skeleton Knight and everybody else stated that the events of the eclipse is trying to be remade. Like, it's going to be an artificial eclipse. I had no idea it would be to this extent. Because when I saw the Tower of Conviction fall, and you see the, like, hand shape pop up, I was, like, stunned. I was fucking stunned. I couldn't believe what I was looking at. The artwork, I don't, just the artwork alone, okay, in this. Holy shit. But I can't believe it. Like, literally, it's just, oh my god, like this right here. The God Hand, or technically they're not really the God Hand, they're imitations, and it's not the real thing, but still. Oh my god. This volume of Berserk, volume 20. I'm hyped. I am very, very, very hyped for the next volume. Seriously, if I was not busy whatsoever, and if I did not have to go to bed early tonight, I would fucking be reading the next volume right now. I would. I honestly would have read the next volume. I am hyped. After this conclusion, like the final page of this volume, oh my god, like the final couple pages, not the final, but the final pages, that. Oh! Dude! Zodd! Fucking Skeleton Knight, dude! Oh! Round 2! Holy shit! Oh my god, dude, that right there, oh my god. The events that is actually being imitated, this artificial eclipse that's being imitated. Oh my god, dude, that's fucking badass, man. Just seeing Zodd and the Skeleton Knight, how they meet, and the entire eclipse is just being imitated again. Like, the fucking hand, the way the faces, like the malice, the essence of malice is coming out from the corpses and stuff, and it's swelling around, and it's just creating giant-ass faces. That's exactly what the faces looked like in the eclipse. I was like, oh my god. There's so much correlations with Volume 13 in this volume. I was stunned. Like, this scene right here, this, like, baby fetus. Casca and Guts' child, the baby fetus. This scene, I know exactly what this means. I tell you right now, I can tell after looking at the cover, this volume cover, and then looking at this final scene with the fetus, it's obvious what this means. Since all the events are technically being imitated again. We had Zodd, and we had the Skeleton Knight. They're starting to fight. They're about to start fighting. You have it to where the God Hand-like images are popping out of the malice. You have it to where Guts is on top of the hand. You have it to where this egg dude that says he's going to sacrifice the entire world, his entire world, for a brand new perfect world. And I'll get into that in just a little bit. And then the way the events are setting up with the child, since technically this creature ate the child, like right at the end, okay? You see it literally eat the child. It eats the child, and he says he's about to die, and then the new world will be born. And the thing is if you look at the overall front cover, you see a bird wing. Now, what symbolizes a bird wing? A white bird wing, at that when it comes to Berserk. Griffith. So, from what I could see from this conclusion, is that Griffith is going to pop out of this egg. I want to say it right now. He's definitely popping out of it because the way it looks, it's way too similar. This image right here is way too similar to when Griffith was getting transformed into a demon. Unless Guts' child is going to turn into a fucking Griffith lookalike. That could be a possibility, actually. That is actually a very strong possibility since Griffith technically corrupted the fetus that was inside Casca, Guts and Casca's child. It might be possible that the fetus could turn into someone that looks like Griffith. And that might be why the entire events are kind of similar. So, maybe this child is not really Guts and Casca's child. It's actually Griffith and Casca's. That'd be pretty fucked up if that was. But, from this conclusion, okay? That's my thoughts, okay? Definitely. That the entire Eclipse is being imitated, and supposedly, fate cannot be changed. As we already know, fate cannot be changed. Only Guts can change things. He's a fish in the water that can break the surface. That was, symbolized last volume, or a volume before that, whatever volume it was. And with this volume, only slight events are changing. Like, for instance, there was a lot of correlation with Volume 13. Like, there was an eye scene in this. Like, I don't know if I can find it. I'll scroll through this volume. But there was a specific eye scene. Come on, find it. Yeah, right here. Here it is. This eye scene, if you look closely, you will see where the nail, the claws of the bird dude, the bird angel, he is stabbing Guts in the eye that he lost, the exact same way Guts lost his eye beforehand. And if you look at the correlation of that, what that symbolizes is pretty much, it's reenacting of the Eclipse. Like, certain events that happened to Guts is happening again. Like, we're seeing events like when Guts lost his eye happening again. So are you telling me, like, we're gonna probably see an event to where Guts might lose his arm again? Like, his metal arm will fly off or something? Is that possible? But with the, connections right there. Oh my god, that's just amazing. That's freaking amazing. I love the connections with that in this volume. Fucking amazing volume. I'm saying it right now. Fucking amazing. Best volume out of the Tower Conviction arc. Out of all the Tower Conviction arcs, volumes I've read, this is by far my favorite. I love the Religion volume 17. That was fucking amazing. I loved it. But this, on an entirely different aspect, the symbolism in it, the connections, the correlations to Volume 13, the different references, the foreshadowing, the development, overall so much mystery, and some mysteries that make me question a lot of things. For one thing I want to point out is this specific scene. Look at the fetus, but look right beside the fetus and you will see the mark, the brand, that is on a sacrifice. As we know, Guts has this, Casca has this, and the mark can only be given to you by the God Hand. And supposedly when you get the mark, all of your blood in your entire body pretty much is offered up to demon kind until your very last breath. That's pretty much what it is. And the thing is that with this reveal, that was revealed in this volume, this demon, this egg-shaped demon called Nobody, he has no name, he actually has a mark of the brand, or the brand pretty much, on his tongue. And it makes me wonder, demons can have the mark. What the fuck? Okay, how did he get this mark? We know the Eclipse gave everybody marks, but did he get the mark when he went to meet the God Hand, when he offered himself up to, make a brand new world? Supposedly from what I understood from his wish, when he's screaming in pain, when he's covered in corpses, his entire home was covered in corpses, and he was smothered, and he was screaming out in pain. He didn't even know who he was. He was cast away from human society, and just dug a hole into the depths, and wanted to be by himself. And then when he screamed out, he had a behelit, and he met the God Hand. And the thing is when he talked to the God Hand, he stated that he would offer his entire world. And this right here is something different I haven't actually seen. Usually when you go to the God Hand, you have to sacrifice something. We already know this. You do have to sacrifice something. And usually it's a loved one or something like that. We've seen parents. We've seen, what Griffith did, for instance, with the Band of Hawks. We've seen different examples of what people have sacrificed when it comes to gaining their demonic form. But the demonic form that this dude has gotten, Nobody, I'm just going to call him the Egg Demon. That's exactly what I'm going to call him, the Egg Demon, because it's a lot better than calling him Nobody. I'm going to at least, at the very least, respect him. I want to say, I have some form of respect for the poor guy, because he didn't even know who he was, and he was casted into this fucking hole by himself. That's pretty fucked up and sad, actually. I want to say right now. The overall backstory of this Egg Demon, that was depressing, because he was forced in those circumstances. And the meaning behind it, when he got on top of the tower, and he said that he would look down at his dying world, but he's doing it, finally he's getting to stand on top of the tower when he's always gazed up at the tower from his grounds. And I'm like, oh my god, the meaning of that was very freaking sad. It was. And the thing is this dude sacrificed his entire world to gain his power. And supposedly, the perfect new world will be born from him. And this leads me to believe that since technically from the cover, you see, you know, the little bird-shaped wing going on here, and the way he swallows the fetus baby of Guts and Casca, if it is Guts and Casca's, it's inside of him and it looks like the shape of Griffith made when he was, like, in that cocoon. So, the new world is probably symbolizing the rebirth of the God Hand, for instance, probably Griffith, or this baby child. That's probably what it is. So, very strange. Very, 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 very strange with this. Like, I mean, the overall way this demon has a mark, I'm still trying to grasp that, because I didn't think a demon could have a mark. I'm guessing the mark of sacrifice, the reason why it's on the egg demon, is because he is actually sacrificing himself for demon kind. Technically, he is sacrificing himself to make the perfect new world, like summon probably the God Hand, like, you know, Griffith, into the real world. And so this makes me believe that that's probably why he has the mark, but, I never thought, you know, like, a demon could have that. So, well, hopefully that eventually will get explained in the future, because I have a lot of questions about that. Now, moving past that entire element of this volume, there's a lot of things I do want to cover, like Mozgus. Mozgus, man, I find a lot of irony, so much irony, in Mozgus being transformed into an angel. There's just so much irony, man. There's so much fucking irony. Like, the irony in it is that Guts, the Black Swordsman, is killing angels, pretty much. The irony in that goes back to my earlier thoughts in volume, like, 14 or 15. Guts is like Satan or the devil. He drags down the fucking angels. He kills the angels. He kills gods. That's what he wants to do. And to see the irony in this of how they look like they're fucking angels, and Guts is like Satan, pretty much. It's just, wow. Wow. And the transformation, man, the way it was drawn, look right there. You see that? The wings and all that? The way that is drawn, that is absolutely fucking amazing. And the way it looks, like, just, oh my god, man, the angels, like, pretty much God's angels. That's exactly what it is, pretty much. The irony. Ugh. Anyways, Mozgus, man. He gets the power of flames. Very fitting for someone of his stature, since he's technically a priest. He's, you know, Inquisitor. He's doing God's gospel, as he says. And it's just very interesting how in this volume, like right towards the end, you see the essence of malice swarming around the place, like the tower. You see it coming in, and it's surrounding the civilians, the people that took refuge in the camps underneath the Tower of Conviction. You see how they're running towards the gate and all that because this black slime is just coming after them. And when you see Mozgus and his band of angels coming in and breathing fire, cutting down fucking people that have been turned into zombies and stuff like that, you just, the way it looks, it reminds me of the story, I forget the exact story's name, but it reminds me of a biblical story, when God brought down angels to burn and lay waste to a town. I forget the story, I really do, and I know I'm going to just slap myself, and one of you Chibits actually let me know the story, but when, you know, you saw, like, a town get burnt and stuff to the ground by angels, that's exactly what it looked like to me. I thought of that, and I was like, holy shit. And it seems like fire is, like, the only thing that could really stop these creatures from what I saw from the panels that was given. I mean, Guts has cut them down in this, but, I mean, it doesn't look like it's really fucking working since they're just reforming again. So, how exactly can you kill these creatures is the big question. I'm guessing you would probably have to wait until daybreak. One thing I will say about this volume, there is a lot of development for Luca. I am really shocked with how Kentaro is taking the time to actually develop Luca. Luca, as in the prostitute. I talked a little bit about her in my last review of Berserk. And the thing is like, I'm still trying to grasp the overall part that Luca and Nina, the freaking girl, I think that's her name, Nina and Luca, I'm trying to grasp their overall part that is playing inside of this volume, or this arc, or even this series in general. I'm still trying to get a grasp on it, because she definitely means something. For the Skeleton Knight, or the Skeleton Knight bro, I want to call him a fucking bro now after this volume, but for him to go out of his way to save her, and then she gets to talk with the Egg Demon about his entire backstory and all that, he actually wants to tell someone, and then she actually charges back in to that madness and malice that is going on at the Tower of Conviction. She charges in while even looking back or even asking the Skeleton Knight for help, It just shows you her character perspective and how loyal she is, how honest she is, how kind she is, and how she will go out of her way to sacrifice her own life for others. That's exactly what was demonstrated in this volume, especially when she let go of Nina when she was holding her, when she was about to fall, and she just let go by herself to die instead of dragging them down with her. So the overall aspect of her character leaves me questioning a lot. What actual purpose does she have in the overall main scope of Berserk? Because for her to survive that entire ordeal, it makes me question and wonder why. Why would Kentaro take the time to develop these characters? Well, that's a big question. Another thing I noticed in this volume, too, is the entire aspect of what the Egg Demon said. He stated, like, if I would have met Mosgus in a different time, like, if I would have met him before I turned into a demon, would I be different? Would I have chosen a different path? Like, for instance, how Mosgus, as we found out last volume, he took in different people that were cast away from normal society because they were either ugly, they had a disease, like, for instance, their skin would burn, stuff like that. Mosgus took these people in, and he cared for them. Which, in a certain aspect, I do have to say Mosgus does have a likable trait to even be able to do something like that. Even though he's a fucking bastard, and he's killing people by God's gospel, he just... the overall aspect of how he did that was a nice thing, and it's just really interesting the way the Egg Demon actually states is like, would he have been different? Would he have sacrificed his world if he would have met Mosgus and got to be with him? That's the question. That right there is very sad. It's very sad, and it shows you the circumstances and fate that plays in Berserk. And that's just, overall, I felt like the way Kentaro actually did that aspect with this volume, and even the way it played into it with the last volume, that's beautiful writing. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful writing. Now I want to move on to the next part I want to talk about. The overall aspect of the fight that happened in this volume. Now I want to move on to the next part and aspect I want to talk about when it comes to this volume. The fight. The fighting that takes place in this volume of Berserk is something I do really want to talk about. I like the aspect and symbolism in the number of angels. 7 angels. God's number 7. I like that little aspect that played in this fight. For instance, how Guts was technically fighting 7 angels. Technically the 7 was Moskus included, but Guts was really just fighting 6 people at once in this volume. But I like that little aspect to religion, once again, that Kentaro actually uses in this volume. And the overall aspect in just the way the fights progressed and the execution of them in this volume took me by surprise. Very, very brutal. That's just something I want to say right now, okay? Berserk, when it comes to the fights, it's a lot different than anything I have actually seen in a writing perspective of actual fights, when it comes to writing of fights. Because Guts, as a character, as we already know, it's pretty freaking obvious by now, he's a very brutal fighter, and he will do anything when it comes to victory. That's pretty much what it is. And the thing was, in this volume, there was a specific fight scene, like in this, to where Guts actually is, like, surrounded. He's being, like, pinned pretty much by these angels, and one of the dudes has pliers. He's about, like, the torture pliers. He's about to, like, stab Guts with them and, like, cut him, and Guts bites the fucking pliers and then headbutts this demon in the face while he's biting down the pliers. It just showcases the brutality of Guts when it comes to fighting. Like, that is something I really love about Berserk. The brutality. The way Guts does things that normal fighters I've seen in Shonen or even Seinen have never done. The way he goes out his way to do anything that is just so fucking badass. I am just like, oh my god, Guts, stop being so badass. Because when I see him, like, doing a cannon, like, spin circle, when he's, like, has to use a cannon, and it, like, kind of dislocates his shoulder, as we found out volumes ago, he shoots his cannon, and he spins his fucking sword, and you see the flames go into one demon's face, and he's spinning his sword around. I'm like, oh my god, that is badass. Seriously, just the way the fights play out in Berserk, which I've been meaning to talk about them quite a while now, because I've actually neglected to talk about fights technically in detail. I've been more focused on the aspect of the symbolism and the religion and stuff like that. So the fight in this volume, I like the details. I really, really like the details that were done in the fights. Like the aspect of Mosgus. Okay, when Mosgus burns his hat, I like that detail. It's a very subtle detail. It doesn't really have much importance in the overall volume, But the detail from the mangaka taking the time to actually burn Mosca's hat when he actually reveals his powers for the first time, and you see it burning and lighting on fire, and then the hat's kind of burnt, I like the aspect and character design of that. I really, really do. It just looks really badass when it comes to Mosca's actual character design. Now, one thing though, at the ending conclusion of this volume, we have it to where all the refugees that have been forced to run away from the zombie-type humans pretty much have been possessed and in the freaking essence of malice coming and swarming them. Well, you have it to where Mosca says, "We will defend you, we will hold back these foul demons. You, raise a pillar, burn the witch." That's pretty much what they're trying to do. That's what Mosca say, but he would have more of a deeper, manly voice, like a very fucking deep voice, like, "Burn the witch, burn her." You know, that's pretty much how he would sound. And the thing is to see that aspect of how it's building up, Guts is left with two options: fight or rescue. Fight or rescue. And this right here, the development and meaning behind that, shocked me. Guts is left with a choice. And he's always had this dream. We know his dream technically now. His war declaration to kill all demon kind. Kill Griffith. Get his revenge. Kill the God Hand. That's exactly what his objective is. That's exactly what Guts wants to do since volume 13 and 14. He announced that to everybody, to the Skeleton Knight. And his main goal was technically fighting. But when the Skeleton Knight brought up a certain thing to Guts, and when it was redone, like, you know, flashbacked into this volume, fight or rescue, since technically Casca is being pinned up on, like, a pillar and about to be burned alive, or Guts can fight and try to find Griffith to kill him. I like the aspect and meaning behind that. How Guts technically is looking past his dream and kind of technically giving up his dream just a little bit to save Casca. He can only do one or the other. And this development right here as a character is amazing because he could choose to get his revenge and maybe even kill Griffith before he comes out. Or he could save the person he loves, Casca, and make that choice. And that right there, I love that. I fucking love that. The development that's going to probably take place next volume is going to be so badass. Now, one thing I will say, when it comes to the artwork of Berserk, it is to die for. I've said it so many times, but the overall artwork of Berserk is insane. I love the artwork. Every time I'm reading Berserk and reading a volume, I fangasm because of the artwork. It's just so amazing for how old this is. It's great. It's so fucking good. And, you know, one thing I actually want to talk about that takes place this I didn't really mention a lot. Guts' rage. This actually goes along with the fight and rescue aspect I was just talking about. Guts' rage appears once again to strike at the God Hand. And that right there shows you he still has that anger. But he was willing to subside this anger and probably go rescue Casca. So, I'm amazed by the development. Overall, a wonderful, wonderful volume of Berserk. I cannot wait to actually read the next volume. I'm fucking hyped. So, tell me your thoughts in the comments below, how you felt about this volume, volume 20 of Berserk. Love y'all so much. You have a wonderful day or night wherever you live, and I will try to get out the next volume of Berserk as early as I can next week. I've just been very busy this week reading The Breaker, so I didn't have time to actually get around to putting up this review. So you all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.